I don't want this to happen to you. I'm out of semaglutide. What the hell am I gonna do now? Well, what's going on, family? This is gonna be an amazing video where I'm gonna talk to you about 4 key things that are gonna help you understand what happened to me and what might possibly happen to you going from 0.25 to 0.50 on semaglutide. I'm gonna talk to you about how I'm going to continue to pay for the drug, which has led me back to my doctor's office, and we'll talk more about that. I'm going to talk to you about the side effects of me being on the drug, going from those dosages, and share some pictures and go over in detail my week-by-week weight loss. I'm also going to talk to you about another drug that I'm considering based on my upcoming visit with my doctor's office and why I'm considering that drug. And last but not least, we're gonna go really quickly over the 3-prong approach, because I don't want you to forget about the 3 things that I believe you should be focused on as far as a long-term sustainable weight loss plan. So let's get into it. And by the way, this is Rainey from the Blessings and Gems channel, where we focus on personal improvement, personal empowerment, and equipping you with the tools and resources to live your best life. Let's jump right in. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is my side effects. So once again, I went from 0.25, that's what I was taking in month 1, and in month 2, I started taking 0.50. What are my side effects? Well, my side effects, if you remember, in when I was taking 0.25, started off with some constipation. It started off with a lot of fatigue. And then I started to take fiber and B12 to head off those side effect symptoms. I'm happy to report that I'm not having any of those symptoms, with the exception of combination of the B12 and the 0.50. I don't know. I'm feeling a lot more tired. So I stopped taking the B12 about 5 weeks in, and I actually have more energy. I don't know what that dosage of 0.50 did, but I just stopped taking the B12 and I have raised my energy levels back up, and I'm feeling pretty damn good. So that's a little bit about that. I want to share with you my week-over-week weight loss so you can get a sense of what has happened, because it's not been a straight road. And if you've been with me, you know that I went up, I went down. There's a few things that have happened. So let me chronicle it, because it may sound familiar to you, and that is okay. So now I want to share with you my week-by-week weight loss, which has not been a straight line, by the way. So I hope that you're encouraged about these realistic milestones that I've achieved this month. So in week 5, I lost 4 pounds. In week 6, I lost 1 pound. In week 7, I lost nothing. In week 8, I lost 2 pounds. So I lost 9 pounds total last month. I lost 7 pounds totaling this month. So over the course of 2 months, I've lost 16 pounds. And I'm pretty excited about that, because if you remember going back to video number 1, I shared that my goals, or what I define as healthy weight loss, was losing on average between 1 to 2 pounds a week. And so I've achieved that 2 pounds a week. And I'm okay with that for now, right? Because again, I'm looking at sustained weight loss, and I don't want to pull the plug on the drug at some point and then gain it all back, which is typically what happens to most people on any of these weight loss medications. Because people go from 0 to 100, meaning they take the weight loss medication, they stop eating, they don't work out, they're losing all this weight. They're also losing muscle mass. If you remember, as I talked about in my month 1 video, that's a no-no. And then they get off the weight loss medication, gain it all back, they've lost muscle mass, and they're actually feeling worse than when they started this whole process to begin with. Don't want that for myself, and so I'm okay with my 1 to 2 pound weight loss. The other thing I want to share with you is just a couple of pictures. You can also see, if you've been watching my videos, that I've lost weight in my face, I lost my chin, thank God. I lost some of my, fat on my arms. I've lost some weight in my stomach area, which was really a problem child For me, it still continues to be, but I'm working at it and I have lost weight. So here I'm feeling good on semaglutide 0.50, and I hope that you are too. So that's a little bit about my side effects, weight loss, and some of the pictures. Now, here's what's happening to me. When I moved from 0.25 to 0.50, the considerations that I had at the time really had to do with, was I going to develop new side effects? I was really conscious about that, if you remember. And then I was also thinking, I'm going to have to start even less, and how that would affect me psychologically. Well, my considerations now on month 2 is that I am out of money. Let me talk to you about that, because no one is talking about the cost of this medication in the United States, which is a lot. So if you like what you're hearing so far, please hit the like button. Please consider subscribing. The family is growing. We talk about many different topics, and I want you to stay in the know with me. So let me talk about this payment of semaglutide. So if you remember back to that week 1 video, that's why I'm going to link that one here. I shared with you that I was using my company flexible spending card that I had loaded at the beginning of the year with $2,000 to spend on health benefits, things like co-pays and other things that I had anticipated for this year. So as a result of paying for semaglutide, I had dental surgery, I had something else going on over here, co-pays, blah, blah, blah. I've already maxed out that card and I don't have any more money left. So now I'm sitting here going, okay, to pay for a month of semaglutide with the weight loss management clinic that I was going to is $375 for a month supply. And so I'm like, either I can pay for that out of my pocket, but let me just kind of do some additional research, because this is crazy. If you remember, in week 1, I had originally went to my doctor, my medical doctor, my primary care physician, and I asked him to put me on weight loss medication. And at the time I had asked for Ozempic. I do not qualify for Ozempic because I do not have type 2 diabetes, and my A1C, I believe, is 4 or 5, it's 5. And so I don't qualify. And so he was like, you don't qualify, your insurance doesn't cover it. That's what led me down the semaglutide journey. However, in kind of chatting with a family member about this, and I'm like, listen, I might have to start paying for this out of my pocket. I'm willing to do it, but I do have good insurance. I really need to go back to this situation. My family member explained to me, she was like, girl, did you know that, yeah, you don't qualify for Ozempic, but you may qualify for another weight loss management medication? What? Really? My doctor didn't mention any alternatives to me. She said, yeah, you really need to go back, because there are certain weight loss medications that are covered by insurance, that are based on how much fat you have in your body, your BMI. Your BMI, your body mass index, is how much fat you have in your body. And so I was like, get out of here, girl. And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, let me do this. So I made an appointment to see my doctor, because I'm out of semaglutide, as I showed you. The bag is empty. There's nothing left. And to talk about different options. Now, one of the things that she brought up immediately to me was a drug that she believes will be covered by my insurance. That is a weight loss medication called Wegovy. Now, I heard of Wegovy, I've heard of Mounjaro, I've heard of these other ones, but I had been focused on semaglutide. That's what I did my research on. That's what I talked to my doctor at the weight loss clinic about. That's what I was aligned with. That's what I understood. That's what Rainey was doing. But now Rainey is out of money. Can you relate to that? Can you let me know in the comments, like, how is this hitting your pockets? I found it interesting that somebody in the comments, and I believe it was my week 1 or week 2 video, who lives in the Netherlands, I believe, was like, I pay $7 a week, something like that. And I was like, yeah, The US is out of control with our healthcare. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother video that will require cocktails, but it's very, very expensive. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna go and kind of look into this medication, Wegovy, because if this is what's gonna be covered by my insurance and it's similar to what I'm doing, I need to learn more about it. So I'm going back to my doctor, my medical primary care physician. I made an appointment with him, and I want to talk to him about Wegovy. And so the only reason why I'm really pursuing Wegovy is because Wegovy, the weight loss medication, has semaglutide in it already. If I switch over to Mounjaro or any of the other weight loss medications, the main ingredient is not semaglutide, and I don't want to deviate and start over with a new drug getting acclimated into my body. Wegovy semaglutide is pretty much the same as the semaglutide that I've been taking from my compounded pharmacy. It is just a compounded version of semaglutide. Now, you know that, and I'm going from point to point. So far, I've already talked to you about my side effects, my weight loss. I showed you some pictures. I talked to you about how I'm going to move forward with trying to get semaglutide or whatever weight loss medication paid for, or I'm just going to have to pay for it out of my pocket. But I am going to talk to my doctor, go back to my primary care physician again. I talk to you about all the time in all of my videos. It doesn't matter if it's talking about semaglutide, if it's talking about time management, if it's talking about being worthy, that you are responsible. We are responsible for our own lives, my friend. So I'm the chief medical officer of my own life. And that's why I'm sharing with you candidly things that have been happening with me and to me, so that you can be empowered to take control. Don't give your power over to WebMD or the internet or your cousin or your favorite doctor. You got to really evaluate what works for you, how you feel, and who you actually trust. But you should do some of your own preliminary research when you know you're going to go in and start asking for things and asking for medication, so that you are educated. I'm sure most of you are not medical physicians, and if you are, good for you. I'm not a medical physician, but if I'm gonna go in and start talking to my doctor, which I am, about what weight loss medication is out there for me that's covered for my insurance, and I hear that Wegovy is the go-to for weight loss medication, I need to do some research about Wegovy and maybe a few others, but Wegovy I know is covered by my insurance. Why? Because I called my insurance. So once again, take control. Don't give your power over to your doctor or to the medical assistant. You can get ahead of some of these things, but you do have to know the questions to ask. All right. So if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button, subscribe, because right now I'm going to go deep. I want you to understand what I didn't kind of understand about what the difference is between why doctors prescribe some medication, why they don't prescribe semaglutide, why is semaglutide only offered by primarily weight loss clinics and what's called a compounding pharmacy. Why is it on the internet? Why are these damn pop-ups coming up all the time trying to sell me semaglutide? I'm going to answer all of those questions right now. So I want you to sit down, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. If you're running or running errands or running around the house, sit down, listen to what I'm about to share. It is very, very detailed, but it is super helpful. And had I known this when I went to my primary care doctor initially, and I had a different one at the time, and I asked him for Ozempic, and he told me I don't qualify, what he should have done is said, but you do qualify for Wegovy or whatever. He never said that. So I went outside of my commercial insurance and out of my normal doctor, and I went this way down the semaglutide journey. Maybe I can save you from doing what I did. So here are some lessons learned. I want to share with you the difference between semaglutide, what I'm taking, and what Wegovy is. And I am going to read a little because this gets very detailed, and I want to make sure that you have it all. I want to also emphasize before I go deep that I am not a board certified doctor. Go see your own. And that I am not a board certified health physician, and that you should consult your physician. You should do your own research, and that this video and my prior videos about semaglutide, or I actually refer to it as Ozempic at some point, all have to do with my personal experience. This is my vlog, so let's get into it. I'm so excited to share this information with you to help you. So you might be asking, and I'm only talking about as well, this drug as it relates to the laws and how it's administered in the United States, because I do have people that watch outside. You might find some similarities in what I'm sharing that's happening in your state, in your country, but I'm really speaking to my US citizens or those of you who get your drugs from the US. So here's the deal. I'm considering Wegovy. Wegovy is a brand name medication whose active ingredient, the main ingredient, is actually semaglutide. Wegovy is an injection, just like semaglutide. And Wegovy is made by a company called Novo Nordisk, and it has been approved by the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, for weight loss. Wegovy has also been approved for the following uses for weight loss. It's for folks who have, or adults who have a body mass index, or a BMI, which is the amount of fat that you have in your body. Your BMI has to be higher than 30, or your BMI can be 27 if you have at least one weight loss health related condition, such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol. So those are the only two instances where Wegovy in the United States can be prescribed by a board certified doctor based on the FDA. Notice how I said that Wegovy is a brand name medication, and we're going to clarify what that means. It's going to be very important for you to remember. So, since Wegovy is approved by the FDA, if you meet the criteria that I shared, you'll more than likely be covered by your insurance if your insurance covered Wegovy. So that's the good news, and that's pretty exciting. At the same time that the Food Drug Administration approved Wegovy for weight loss use in 2021, they also approved semaglutide containing medication, which is Wegovy. But listen to this again. They approved semaglutide containing medication. So any medication containing semaglutide. And so there's a loophole. The loophole is that there are entities called compounding pharmacies. I know you've been getting pop-ups on YouTube and on your phone and everywhere you go, where all of these pharmacies keep popping up, and they're like, buy semaglutide for $2.75 and mail, get it tomorrow in the mail and do all this stuff. It's because semaglutide, the main ingredient, can be used and essentially mixed and compounded and customized to be used with other drugs to make a version of semaglutide that can be used for weight loss. So I want you to think of it this way. Wegovy, whose main ingredient is semaglutide, which is a brand name drug by Novo Nordisk, is approved by the FDA. Semaglutide that you're getting from your compounding pharmacy is a compounded, customized version of semaglutide. Let me show you what I mean. And I thought a visual would help. So think of it this way. So think of this box of penne as it has a name brand. We know it's by Barilla, and that we know that it is penne pasta. You go to the supermarket and you go, well, I'm not going to get Barilla. I'm going to get something that's a little bit cheaper that may have a different title, or it may not have any brand, such as this one. So it's still penne pasta. It still has the main ingredients in it, but it just has no name brand. That's how I want you to think of Wegovy Semaglutide versus semaglutide. This is Wegovy with semaglutide, a name brand, and this is semaglutide that you're taking that's customized from your pharmacy that doesn't necessarily have a label. The only label that it has is semaglutide. So where does semaglutide come from, and what is a compounding pharmacy? A compounding pharmacy is a pharmacy that makes custom medication based on a prescription from a doctor using a main ingredient. So in this instance, since we're talking about semaglutide, semaglutide is the main ingredient in the semaglutide injections. So the semaglutide injections are being compounded with other body-safe vitamins, usually, such as B6, that are being customized and compounded at these compounded pharmacies. These are not your retail pharmacies, right? You can't walk into Walgreens or Dwayne Reed or Walmart and ask for this drug. This drug is produced by these specific pharmacies that create these custom medications. So when I learned that, and I kind of knew that already, that's why I went into a weight loss management clinic, looked someone in the eye, which was a board certified doctor. She gave me the compounded semaglutide shot, which I've been taking, but I never really thought to ask where it came from. I'll be very honest with you. I just knew that if something went left, I knew I was coming back and whipping somebody's ass. I'm just saying, that's right? Meaning, what do I mean by went left? There really was nothing in the needle itself. There was not semaglutide, but something other than that was causing me to be ill. Or something weird might be in the needle that I was unaware of. I wanted to look a trusted person in the eye. Many of you are considering or already have ordered your semaglutide from the internet, from the web. So you're getting the semaglutide injection from a compounded pharmacy. And typically they'll have you see a doctor, a board certified doctor, hopefully. Hopefully you're asking if they're board certified and looking them up. They'll have you see that person first. That person will ask you a bunch of questions online or via Zoom or whatever. And then he or she will write a prescription for the same pharmacy that he or she is linked to. And then that pharmacy will mail you your medication. That's exactly what's happening. The question I want you to ask is the person that I've been talking to, if you've already done this, no shade, because I didn't know this. I just knew that I did know enough to research the doctor. But here's what I want you to ask. Is the person who I talked to over the phone in a white coat really a doctor? And did I look this person up to make sure that they're board certified? The next time you get your injection, or maybe even now, ask what is in your compounded version of semaglutide that you're getting it, and where is it coming from? Is it coming from that pharmacy that they're associated with, or where is it coming from? Ask them for the name of the pharmacy. Definitely want you to ask at least those two questions, either going backwards if you're seeing that doctor again, or going forwards if you're considering ordering your medication online. There are counterfeit versions, and that's why I want you to do your diligence. Meaning, again, it could be a needle that has nothing in it. It just looks like medication and you're really injecting yourself with water. So it's basically a placebo, or it's not really semaglutide, or it's a watered down version of semaglutide. Ask, my friends. Ask, because you're going to be paying money out of your pocket. You want to know what you're putting in your body, and if the person in a white coat is a doctor, ask for his credentials. I have my person's business card right here, right? I'm like, and her credentials, right? So there. So I hope this helped you. I don't know what's going to happen at my doctor's office. I want to share with you that I'm still focused on my three-prong approach. My three-prong approach is diet, so all the things that I'm putting in my mouth and that I'm eating, exercising, which I'm really enjoying, and I hope to show some videos of that in my month 3 video, as well as this weight loss medication, which is what we've been talking a lot about. So in my next video, first of all, I want to give you a sneak peek that in week number 9, I've already lost another 2 pounds. So I'm heading towards my weight loss goal of losing 20 to 25 pounds. Go rainy rain, but we'll see. We'll see where I go. And I'm going to continue to take you on this journey with me. So don't forget, the week 1 video will be linked here or here. Don't forget to go back and watch that video. So much important information about my doctor's appointments. I actually walk you through end to end what that looked like, and my conversation with my doctor at the weight loss mat. So in my month 3 video is what happened when I went to my doctor's office. Did he laugh me out of there? Did he give me my Wegovy, or did he give me something else? Did my insurance pay for it? And if so, how much? What are some of the side effects? Because by that time I would have been on that medication. And then how does meal planning come back into play? What am I still doing to continue and maintain these meals, because I want to keep them interesting. I've got some videos that I've already taken for you, some pictures, some things that I'm doing that I really want to share, because I want you to be successful. But the point of this video that I think that just bubbled up, it wasn't my intention, was to do your research. You are the chief medical officers of your life. It is your responsibility to ask what you ask. You don't know what you don't know, but I've given you some things that you now know to ask. And don't forget to watch the week 1 video right here or right here. That's coming up next, and that's gonna take you right through the whole series if you're just watching for the first time. And as well as I will see you in the next video. God bless you. Please take care of yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. God bless.